Shalom, shalom, family. It's your brother Hezekiah back at it with another quick lesson. Living in Babylon, spiritual Egypt, the porn and music. Something I've been meditating on through the spirit. I know brothers and sisters, especially in the world, some brothers that send this truth fighting with demons such as pornography, fighting with the music demons, that influence us to move irrational, to influence us to move that's not in the spirit, of righteousness and sincerity and truth and purity. You know, brothers and sisters, we fall short, we get weary, we get impatient. The spirit, what the scripture says, the spirit and the flesh, they battle each other, man. And the mind is get weary, the mind start wandering off, right? Especially if we idle and bored, and have that slothful spirit once in a while. It happens to the best of us in these last days. But I just want to, I've been meditating on this class. I just want to bring it out, so we not ignorant of Satan's devices. You understand? And we can have some encouragement to, fight back these demons, because that's all it is. Straight demon spirits trying to corrupt us. You understand? So let me get this. First of all, I want to give all honor, glory, praise to Yahweh, Shema, Shai, double honors, and shalom to the elders from the house of David and all the elders worldwide. I want to give a mighty shalom, a shout out to all the brothers in every camp pushing this truth, preaching this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. And I want to give a mighty shalom and shout out to the women and children, that's praying, fasting, giving alms, doing the work, keeping the commandments and the faith of the Black Messiah, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, right? Let's get straight into it through the spirit. Bear with me. So this is interview with this Rabbi Finkelstein. Let me do a quick research on this guy real quick. Let's see what this guy is all about through the spirit. So this is this guy, Rabbi Finkelstein. Here he goes. He was a Talmud scholar, expert in the Jewish law, leader of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, and conservative Judaism. Right, he was born in a rabbinic family in Cincinnati. Parents moved to Brooklyn. He got a PhD in Jewish Theological Seminary of America. He was an instructor in the Talmud. So this is a real fake wannabe small hat Jewish man. Okay. Let's get to this interview he had. All right. So this is going to be about the LGBTQ community. All right. All right. This class is going to be a couple videos, a lot of information, a few precepts. You know how we do Zion's Elite exclusive. Let's get it.
Here not long ago with an individual, and I got into the feminist homosexual agenda in the United States, and I told them that actually the sexist homosexual agenda was actually created and funded by Jewry, by the Jews of the United States. Well, you want to discuss on that?
Yeah, we got that going back in the early 1900s. The women's rights movement. We started off. See, when you're gonna have a game and you got a bigger goal, you can't go in like a Sherman tank going through something. You gotta start a little small. And so we said, hey, how about you get equal pay for equal work, and women have the right to vote. And everybody bought into that. And we started with the women because it's hard to get the men. The women are the weakest sex, as we know from that old Adam and Eve story of yours. But at any rate, we got the women going. And now look at all the women. Most all of them around the world, especially here in America, they got short hair. They got a schwarzer for a boyfriend. They got a lesbian lover. They're married by the time they're 40, but then they can't have too many little children themselves because they've already ruined those years chasing the almighty gold, the dollar, the shekel, and so they're going to wind up a bunch of old maids because nobody wants them. But the bottom line is that the real good-looking ones, we take them to Hollywood that we own, and we make them big.
So you see that the Jewish man, the Amalekites, the small hats, the wannabes, the converts, the phonies, the fakes, they are the reason for the LGBT agenda, the feminist agenda, right? They the ones that push it. They the ones that finance it. They the ones that propaganda it, right? And it would be our chief enemies, man. Then the Most High say he's going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation, right? The synagogue of Satan has destroyed our people through the LGBTQ and feminist agenda that they promote, man. This is out of their own mouth. They're one of their top rabbis at the time. You understand? Now let me show y'all something through the spirit. Bear with me. Bear with me through the spirit. Check this out. Boom. Every single aspect of the LGBTQ plus movement is, yes, Jewish. I'm gonna read a few. So we got Magnus Hirschfeld, pioneer of the transgenderism and homosexual rights. You got Edith Windsor, United States versus Windsor landmark legal victory for gay marriage. You got Jazz Jennings, reality TV star and youngest documented transgender. You got Abby Stein, transgender author and activist, first Hasidic transgender. You got Frank Kameny, most significant figure of the gay rights movement. You got Larry Brinken, San Francisco Human Rights Commission arrested for CP, right? If you have ears to hear and understand, I ain't gonna say that right now. We might get banned. Leslie Feinberg, major transgender activist, wrote Transgender Warriors. Brenda Howard, nicknamed Mother of Pride. Jennifer Pritzker, transgender billionaire. The Taiwanese Foundation. Wow. We got Ellie Ehrlich, founder of the Trans Student Educational Resources. We got George Weinberg, coined the term homophobia. Wow. This is all small hats, all Amalek. We got Harvey Milk, first openly gay man elected in California public office. Wow. Then we got Kurt Fern, sexologist, converting homosexuals was futile. You got Betty Burson, you got Franz Klein, you got Bernie Frank, first congressman to come out as gay voluntarily. He set the paveway for congressmen to open up. And this guy, Harvey, he set the paveway for any public officials to open up. Then we got Claude Calhoun and Dean Spade. all Amalek, this whole synagogue, this whole group, right? These individuals paved the way for this whole agenda to just spread and go forth as to what it is today. So, he wasn't lying, Their fellow tribe member was not lying. You understand? All right. Now let's get back to the interview. It's more on that I wanted to show y'all. I'm gonna go to the next timestamp where he talks about us, the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. All right. I'm gonna just start right there.
There's not a lot of shekels to be made anymore. As they say, you can't get blood out of a stone, and we've gotten as much blood out of this stone as we're going to get.
It's interesting because I'm glad you brought that up because this country is in great despair here. I'd like to know, was very crafty on your Kahila and the main sources of Jewish power.
I saw the Kahila. Yeah, I bet y'all know what the Kahila is. This is what the Kahila is, y'all. This is we getting into some deep, not really deep, but some unknown stuff that we need to know. So this is the Kahila. Is a Hebrew word meaning community or congregation. It can refer to various aspects of Jewish communal life, including the structure of Jewish communities in the past and present, specific synagogues, and even a style of Jewish education. You see, so it's like I want to say it's like not like a secret society, but like a club of the top small hats. You understand? And the Kahila is the ones that informed, right, the so-called Jewish people that was at the Twin Towers to not go to work on 9/11. You understand? But we're not going to get into all that. But just to let y'all know a little bit of information. All right? Let's continue.
Financial and political power, how they totally control most of the federal agencies in the District of Columbia.
So you heard that? This Kalala controls what? Some federal agencies. I'm telling you, this is crazy.
Well, it's very simple. The Kahila, that's the inside for us rabbis. We know how to get the word out to every Jew in the world that goes to a synagogue within 45 minutes. All the other presses, the news media, the television, the radio, the magazines, we own all those anyway. So it trickles down, but by the time most of the masses get it, it's too late to make any decision.
You heard that? These so-called Jewish people own what? They own the media. He just said it. They tongue should fall upon themselves.
Already made the decision for them.
It's interesting with trouble looming on the horizon in the United States. There's a lot of white people like me, of European ancestry, who don't really know what's going on. And there's a large percentage of Jews in this country who really don't know what's going on either. They're going to be cannon fodder too, aren't they?
There's a few at the bottom that don't go to the synagogue and they don't know, but they know. They hear that, with parties we discuss it, how we're going to wipe out the white race and wipe out the Arab race, actually let them wipe out each other and make a lot of money. That's pretty smart. Us Jews, we're pretty smart guys. I know. Eventually, we'll get all the rest of the countries around the world, they'll wipe each other out, because us Jews, we're special. We're the chosen people, and we're the smartest people in the world, and we have always said down through the ages, we want a world of our own, and we're going to get it, and there's nothing any of the Goyim cattle are going to do to stop it.
So you understand, you see how these small hats, Amalek, view the world, view themselves. They view themselves how we should view ourselves. The greatest people on earth, the smartest people on earth, the most intelligent, the most special people on earth. And what they want to do, they want to control the earth. They want the earth in their hands. And they actually do have the world, the earth in their hands right now. Let's get a quick precept through the spirit. It's the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So this rabbi just told on himself. They control the earth, they control the world, right? But what did the Most High say? He said, right now the earth is in the hand of the wicked. So these people are the synagogue of wicked, the synagogue of Satan, the synagogue of devils. You don't think they had a part of the covering of the judges from changing them to dark skin of Negro, the real Israelites, which are so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and to changing the color of the Yahushai and the Most High God and the apostles and the angels and the prophets to Caucasian? Do you know what the term devil means? It means to deceive.
So you see, it's very interesting that you should bring all of this up, because where do the blacks fit in? I know that you use them. They've been part of the Jewish Communist Party in the United States, a vast majority. What's going to be their end when this is all over?
Well, the Schwarzes, if the truth be known, came here with our father Lucifer 75,000 years ago when he lost that battle, only temporarily, though, in the heavens, because we're on a comeback. We're the comeback kids if there ever was one. But all the Schwarzes, what can you say? You know, they got a good time step. They dance good. A couple of them can sing.
So look, he said the black people, you heard? He said, we're good. We're good cattle. We're good animals. We're good monkeys. We're good Muppets. We can sing.
They make some nice barbecue.
We make nice barbecue.
And they're real good for selling drugs too.
We're what? He said we're real good to sell drugs too. Can they have been part of the CIA and the crack epidemic?
Because they all love the drugs, and we make a lot of money off of selling the drugs. You do know that we control all the drug world and have since Rothschild got the opium wars in China going.
Did you hear what he just said about his fellow small hat tribe? They control the drug world. So they destroy us through media, through LGBTQ feminist agenda, through drugs, through the food. As you can see, you see the McDonald's, KFC. It's a reason why that's on there, because of what he allegedly said about what they do to the meat. But we're not gonna get onto that. That's a whole different topic. But we have to understand, man, Satan has children, man, and clearly he's revealing who his children is right now.
We've been controlling the drugs ever since that. We let a few in here and there to make some money, and they get arrested and they go off to jail for that. But we make the big money. We're the wholesalers. We're the wholesalers of everything in the world.
They're wholesalers of everything in the world, such as what? Porn, and guess what? That demonic music that we're going to get into.
It's very interesting. You should bring that up.
And that's it on that, man. I just wanted y'all to check that out. Let's get some few precepts real quick. Let me get this in Exodus chapter 17, verse 16, right? Exodus 17, verse 16. For he said, the Most High, because Yahweh have sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So you understand? And this is how Amalek rages war on us through materialism, through money, through the media, through the agendas, right? Through drugs, through the music, through our food, through education, through politics, right? The list goes on and on. And I'm just bringing out a couple today through the spirit. You understand? Let's get let's get how let's get some precepts on how today our people is living in Babylon and spiritual Egypt. Okay. So this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. Right. Some of y'all know these precepts, but this is for the people that may not know. Right. Just a little reminder. You know, repetition is mastery. Just the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if you will not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh your power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. We're going to read about a curse that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans went through because what? Our ancestors, right, did not follow through. And we got punished as well, because it says that these curses is going to be, verse 46, I'm just reading, and they shall be upon thee, these curses, for a sign, right, like an indicator, and for a wonder. I'm like, damn, this is really the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And upon thy seed, right, are the children forever. You understand? To the time of the kingdom of heaven is set on earth. But this is the 68. This is one of the curses that was going to happen to us. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. See, the first time when we was in Egypt, we walked in, we walked out. So this has to be a spiritual meaning, a metaphorical meaning. Egypt simply means bondage, slavery, misery, distress, right? Hard times. By the way whereof I spake unto you, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. So we was gonna, wherever those ships landed, right, in the Americas or throughout the whole world, we was gonna be sold as what? Slave men and slave women, right? And no man shall buy you. Nobody is going to redeem us from our enemies. Nobody's going to save us or bring us back to our homeland, but by a divine power. But our only true living God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay. Now let's go to Micah chapter 4, verse 10. Let's get more on where the majority of the Israelites are located, and where, you know, this place where all this spiritual demons is originated from, and where the main attraction is at. It's the book of Micah chapter 4, verse 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now thou shalt go forth out of the city. The city is what? Israel, Jerusalem. We went out in 70 AD, right? Remember what Yahushua said in Luke 21:24. We're going to get that. And you shall dwell in the field. That's field is talking about Africa. You understand? We fled to Africa in 70 AD, and a couple years after that, during the revolts we had, the Jewish Roman revolts and wars, right? And where did the slave ships come to? Western Africa, North Africa, right? Southern Africa, right? They got us from, you know, any ports of Africa. Wherever they could round us up, they got us and sent us off in slave ships. And you shall go even to Babylon. You understand? Spiritual Babylon, the Americas, land of confusion. There thou shalt be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. So you understand? We will be delivered from the Americas, from the hand of thy enemies. Who controls America? The so-called white man, the chief of them, Amalek, the so-called Jewish man, the small hats, Amalek. You understand? The wannabes. Let's go to Revelations chapter 11, verse 8. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city. What's that great city? Americas, especially North America, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, right? I just showed y'all why it's called Sodom, because of the LGBTQ and feminist agenda. And Egypt, why? Because we are literally slaves here. We may not be slaves physically with chains and shackles, but we got chains and shackles on our mind, on our wallet, on our bank account. You understand? Where also our Lord was crucified, right? The image, the message of the true Yahweh Shai, the true Jesus Christ is crucified. You understand? And we are the body of Yahweh Shai. We are the body of Jesus, and we are crucified to this day. Defamation, you understand? Them character assassination, right? That's all part of the Lord, symbolizing being crucified. You understand? Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 10. We're going to start at verse 21. We're going to read 21 and 22. Job 10, 21. Before I go, whence shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. And that's what the Americas is, a land of darkness, sin, wickedness. You understand? And the shadow of death. You could just be destroyed by all this wickedness and demonic spirits and avenues and devices in America. Verse 22. A land of darkness as darkness itself, and the shadow of death without any order. Ain't no order in America. You could be whatever you want. You could do whatever you want. This is what they say. This is the land of the free. Be all you can be. Do what thou wilt. And where the light is as darkness, where you think is light, it's nothing but darkness. What can this be talking about? Has it be talking about America? Let's get the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 24. All right. Luke 21, verse 24. And the they is talking about the true Israelites, the Jews. They shall fall by the edge of the sword. What? Whose sword was this? This is talking about the Romans. This is talking about 70 AD. And shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem, right, today, the land of Israel, Jerusalem, shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. Who's in our land right now? The so-called small hats and the Palestinians, the Ishmaelites and the Edomites, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So you understand, we're led away captive slaves into all nations. We're scattered into every country, right? You could find a Hispanic, you could find a Negro and a Native American anywhere throughout the world. You understand? Guess what? He was kicked out of our homeland, and guess what? Now the Gentiles dwell there. The Amalekites, Edomites, Ishmaelites. You know, and even some Hamites. the real Africans. You understand? And then we got some of our people over there, but it's mainly the Gentiles. Let's go to Revelations chapter 18. Start at verse 2. Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. Has become the habitation of devils. So right there, the prophet John is saying that America is just a place where devils reside. Spirits, people, deceivers, liars. You understand? And hold of every foul spirit. So much foul spirits. You got the homosexual spirit, the transgender spirit, the feminist spirit. You understand? The lascivious and lust spirits all around. In a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right? And that's what our enemies are. They're unclean and they hate us. And they birds because what? What birds do? They fly in the highest atmosphere. They at the top. You understand? We at the bottom. We the worms. What it say? It said, Jacob, thou worm, O Jacob. You see that? Verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. You understand? What nation is not influenced by America's media, music, film industry, their strip clubs, their food, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Starbucks, their sports, their religions and holidays? That's the wrath of their fornication. That's the fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed with her, right? That's a political, right? Financial ties, right? Like EU, NATO, China, India. You understand? It's talking about that money, that traffic, that business talk. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. You understand? All right. We're talking about America right now, the Americas. That's where we at, right? It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 2. We're going to read 2 to 3, then we'll jump down. Right? Leviticus 18, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, I, Yahweh, your God, after the doings of the land of Egypt, right? Today will be spiritual Egypt, wherein you dwell, where we dwell, majority of us. Let's get that quick preset real quick. Jeremiah 50, verse 33. Jeremiah 50, verse 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Are we not oppressed in America together? Do you see what's going on in the world right now? You got ICE persecuting, kidnapping, taking our Mexican brothers and Central American brothers, separating families. Lord knows what they doing to them. You see the black man always getting brutalized by the police, right? When they getting racial profile, they getting convicted with more prison time, jail time than the average person. You understand? We are oppressed in spiritual Egypt right now. Read it on. And all that took them captives, held them fast. They refused to let them go. Right? They refused to let us go. If they took us from our homelands, why they didn't bring us back? They promised us 40 acres and a mule. Where it's at? Right? We went through if anybody went through a Holocaust, genocide, or any type of terror and torment, it's been us. Why we don't get reparations? You understand? Let's jump back to Leviticus 18. Just had to bring that out. Right, the land a plane on that. Verse 3, after the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein you dwell, you shall not do. You see that? The Most High said, all this wickedness that these people do in the land of Egypt today, spiritual Egypt, the Americas, or wherever we at throughout the world, we should not do. You understand? If it's not according to the law, we should not do. Reading on, after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall you not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances. Right now, let's get some order. Let's get some ordinances right here. This, because these, what we about to read is heavy in the Americas right now. Matter of fact, let me get a different translation so we could really get the point. You understand? Through the spirit. Salakia. We're gonna start at verse 18. Salakia. Here we go. Verse 18. While your wife is living, do not marry her sister and have sexual relationships with her, for they will be rivals. So you understand that? Can't be having menage a trois. You can't be having sisters as wives, man. You understand? Verse 18. And that's heavy. What man with money, what famous man, what influential man that has all the women, all the cars, all the clothes, is not having menage a trois and orgies and such? Let's keep it real. We Zions elite. We rolling on cut. We're gonna keep it real. Verse 19. Do not have sexual relations with a woman during her period of menstrual impurity. Come on now, you know that happens, man. Well, what brothers do? They just put on the condom. You understand? Verse 20. And I heard some females say it feels better when they on it. It's nasty, man. It's nasty. Verse 20, just freaks. Verse 20. Do not defile yourself by having sexual intercourse with your neighbor's wife. Come on, that's probably happening on right now as we speak. Adultery. Verse 21. Do not permit any of your children to be offered as a sacrifice to Molech. What's that today? Abortions. Plan B. You understand? Read it on. For you must not bring shame on the name of your God. I am the Lord. Because the Most High, He bless you with that child. You're gonna unalive a blessing from the Most High. You're gonna unalive his child, his young Israelite son or daughter, man. God's chosen people. We're supposed to be fruitful. We're supposed to be as the stars in the sky, as the sand of the ocean or sea, beach, whatever. Verse 22. Do not practice homosexuality. Having sex with another man as with a woman is a detestable sin. That's plain upon tables. You understand? No Adam and Steve, and no Eve and Cheryl. Okay? Verse 23. A man must not defile himself by having sex with an animal, and a woman must not offer herself to a male animal to have intercourse with it. This is a perverse act. Verse 24. Do not defile yourselves in any of these ways, for the people I am driving out before you have defiled themselves in these ways. You understand? Even today, Esau is a damn brute beast. He's doing these things and he doesn't care. Right? Let's get the book of wisdom. Let's get into the Apocrypha. Let's get the book of wisdom, chapter 12. These are the things that's happening in the Americas, man, and anywhere that's being influenced by America. Right? Wisdom, chapter 12, we're going to read verse 3 to 5. Right? For it was your will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, right? The Canaanites. You understand? What we just read in Leviticus 18, those are the things that they was doing. Verse 4, here we go. For thou hatest for most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. Those wicked sacrifices again, right? That's the, Planned Parenthood, abortion, Plan Bs, you understand? And works of witchcraft. Well, the whole world is just the whole media, music, your tarot card readings, your psychics, your mediums, the politics, the news, the makeup, you understand? AI, that's all witchcraft. You heard me? Let's get verse 5. And also those merciless murderers of children, and devours a man's flesh in the feast of blood. That's going into them secret societies. You understand? He's talking about those Hollywood and music executives that's just doing all types of manners of the ancient Canaanites, the fornication. We heard stories. Come on now, the Diddy parties. Come on now. We know. Come on. Wake up. Y'all not oblivious to this, man. It's out there now. It's out there. All right, let's get a couple more precepts, then we're gonna get into some information videos. Genesis chapter 13, verse 13. Remember, we in spiritual Sodom, right? Genesis 13, verse 13. We're gonna read it in NLT is fine. NLT is fine. We're gonna start at verse 12. So Abram settled in the land of Canaan. Settled in the land of Canaan, and Lot moved his tents to a place near Sodom and settled among the cities of the plain. So this talking about Sodom. Verse 13. But the people of this area, Sodom, were extremely wicked and constantly sinned against the Lord. Is not that what's going on today in this world? People are just extremely wicked and they sin against the Lord. They hate God and his laws. If they did, everybody will be repentant and we will be out of here. The kingdom of heaven will be established. I'm just going to give one more. 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. Oh, Salakia. 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. Hold on, wait. I think I want Ezekiel 16. Salakia, y'all. I think I need to bring this up. I'm reading the KJV, though. Ezekiel 16, verse 49. We're going to read to 50. Right? Yeah, this is heavy. All right, just talking about, spirit. We in spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Let's read it. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, 49 and 50. Sodom's sin were pride. Come on now, Pride Month. You understand? Feminism. These wicked jakes. You got Esau's pride as hell, right? White power. Gluttony. Come on. Our people is obese. And laziness. You understand? While the poor and needy suffered outside her door. Verse 50, she was proud and committed detestable sins. So I wiped her out as have seen. You understand? These are the spirits that's in America, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. And let's get one more precept. I want to get in the KJV. It's the book of 1 John. Chapter 5, verse 19. 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. And we know that we are of God, and the whole world lie in wickedness. Right? Wickedness at an all-time high. Right? You could do whatever you want. You got OnlyFans. You got Instagram models half naked. Basically, Instagram and Twitter, that's soft porn. That is soft porn. They are naked. And you see all types of short videos of women, porn on Twitter, just porn on Twitter. You understand? Instagram, you see all types of half naked women. You see the twerking. You understand? It's just the world is in wickedness right now. The men turning into women. You got them. You got our men with the long nails. Men wearing eyelashes with a full beard in a damn dress, man. Talking like a woman, moving like a woman, popping their gum like a damn female. You got the YNs out here just shooting up the block, talking back to the elders, selling drugs to you, the children, selling drugs to the old heads and robbing crackheads and just being unruly. The whole world live in wickedness, man. You got adultery here, adultery there. Let's go. Let's move on. Let's deal with the term social engineering. Social engineering. Okay? Because that's big. And there's a reason why I bring this out. Okay? Social engineering refers to a psychological manipulation, right? Manipulation used to influence individuals or groups into doing something or believing something, often without them realizing they have been manipulated. In society, it goes far behind cybersecurity. It involves shaping public perception, behavior, and culture through strategic influence, propaganda, and media. You understand that? Influence. And it's a thing called uh, a media influencer or social influencer. Just like, we got our sports stars, propaganda. What? Commercials, ads, in the media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the newspapers, the music, everything, radio shows. This influences us without and manipulates us without us even knowing. Here we go. Forms of social engineering in society: media manipulation, controls of news and entertainment. Black people love entertainment to guide opinion. Right? Example: news channels focusing only on certain narratives, omitting others. Education system control, shaping young minds by selectively teaching history or science. Why they don't teach Israelite history? Guess what? Example: ignoring Native American genocide or Black Wall Street in school curricula. Truly, we would know who our true enemies are. Political propaganda description, using speeches, slogans, and campaigns to rally public support or fear, right? Like vote or die. Or you're not black if you don't vote for me. Example: war on terror, used to justify wars abroad and domestic surveillance. Or saying that the Hebrew Israelites are black Hebrew Israelites, a terrorist group, a cult, black extremists. You understand? Marketing and advertising description, creating desires or fears to drive consumer behavior. Right? Then you got beauty standards, right? Push on ads, what? Weaves, BBLs, eyelashes, the long nails, the 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 underdressing, the scantily clad outfits, you know, that cause self-esteem issues, materialism. You understand? A rat race on becoming rich and wealthy, right? And having the finest things. peer pressure and social norms, making behavior seem normal or unexpected, right? Social media trends pushing toxic and behavior as cool, right? The baddies, that's toxic, right? The Cardi B, the Megan Stallions, that is toxic work, right? And then you got your fear-based control, understand? I just wanted to bring that out, how social engineering is heavy. It's a heavy thing. It's a very impactful thing. Yeah, that's what I really wanted to bring out. Guess what? One of the examples they got is COINTELPRO. FBI used media, fake letters, and infiltrators to disrupt black leaders. And you don't think they're gonna do that in the last days? Let's move on. Now let's get into one of the topics: pornography. Pornography. Before I read about pornography, let's see who are the pushers, the leaders, the culprits, right, of pushing this pornography agenda and, media and whatnot. Bear with me. Bear with me. Check this out. Yeah. Every single aspect of pornography and hookup culture is, you guessed it, small hat, Amalek, Jewish. Right? Just take a look. Pornhub, RedTube, X Videos, Tinder, Bang Bros, Vivid, Wicked, X Hamster, right? Slade, Reality Kings, Brazers, Tushy. It's all pushed by these so-called small hats. Greg Lansky, Spielberg of porn. Wow. You got Sean Rad, founder of Tinder, right? Stefan Picard, founder of X Videos. You understand? Take a look, y'all. This is madness. This is truth, man. Yep. Sinning God of Satan. Sam Rolfe. Rolfe versus United States, 1957, made pornography protected speech. Yes. Jewish guy made pornography legal. Yeah. Yep. And they're supposed to be the chosen people. Yeah. You can't make this up. All right. Let's get into some information. Negative effects of porn. Addiction-like behavior. You get desensitized when once aroused may no longer have the same effect, leading users to seek more extreme or unrealistic content. All right, I'm gonna let y'all I don't want y'all imagination to go there, but y'all know what that means. Instead of watching regular, well, you going to what? Come on now. We all grown here. Distorted sexual expectations, depression, and anxiety. These all wicked spirits that we shouldn't have. Relational and social effects. Decrease intimacy. Now you can't get intimate with your wifey, your husband anymore, because you're watching too much of the porn. Trust issues in relationships. Come on now. We already have enough of that. Objectification of people. Porn often emphasizes people as tools for pleasure, which may affect how users treat others. Now you're just using your significant one as a tool. Just a tool, a sex tool, man. Effects on youth. Early exposure alters development. Young people exposed early may develop warped ideas of consent, respect, or health intimacy. Harm to academic and social life. Time spent viewing porn can interfere with school, friendships, and identity development. That's crazy, man. Right? And there's other things, you know. And guess what? I want to read this other concern. Contribution to sex trafficking, prostitution. Right? Some content is created under abuse or illegal conditions, contributing to human trafficking networks. These all negative effects on porn, and it could always in porn it could also normalize violence and degradation. So there's nothing good that comes out of watching porn, especially for the youth, man. It's important that we flee from this porn addiction, this pornography, fornication, watching demons. Right? Let me get a quick precept on that. Right? It's the book of Psalms, chapter 101, verse 2. Right? Here we go. Psalms 101, verse 2. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Or when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect. Oh, Salaki. I'm not even showing my screen. Salaki. I'll read it over. Psalms 101, verse 2. I will behave myself in a perfect way. Or when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Verse 3. Here's the point. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It should not cleave to me. So it's important that we don't set pornography videos, soft porn, which is on our social medias, to our eyes. Set no wicked thing before my eyes. Set no porn, no Instagram models and OnlyFans before your eyes. If you want to walk perfect with the Most High God. Right? Because what? Let me give y'all some wisdom. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 31. We're going to read verse 13. Check this out. Sirach 31, verse 13. Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and what is created more wicked than an eye, therefore weepeth upon every occasion. We have to watch what we look at. We have to watch what we stare at. We have to watch what we pay attention to, especially in these last days. It's to destroy us, to distract us, right? To deter us from the prize. That's the kingdom of heaven. All right. Now, we dealt with the porn. And guess what? Now let's deal with the film industry. All right. We're going to get to the music. Matter of fact, we're going to deal with the music industry. Salakia. Check this out, y'all. Let's get some information on the music industry. Let's get a video. Let's get a quick video. Then we're gonna get some information. Right. I'm gonna fly through the information, right? You guys could always look this up yourself. Yeah, check this out, y'all. I'm gonna read this little paragraph first because this is heavy. The music industry, especially record labels, plays a major role in promoting negativity in the rap community. Many record companies prioritize profits over the well-being of communities, pushing rappers to promote violence, drill rappers, destructive and toxic messages, drugs, adultery, fornication, instead of uplifting content like the truth music. These labels heavily invest in songs glorifying gang violence, drug use, and prostitution, which impacts the mindset of young listeners. The influence on children is undeniable, right? I'm gonna keep reading. Statistics show that violent lyrics and messages contribute to risky behaviors, including drug use, gang affiliation, and criminal activity. For example, studies have shown that exposure to violent music can increase aggressive thoughts and behaviors in teenagers. Kids mimic what they hear in music, leading to a culture where they see street life, guns, and disrespect as pathways to success. You see how the devil influences through his devices, and and guess what? All you gotta do is they pay you to make the music, or you could pay for the music to be promoted. Money is the root of all evil. All right, let's watch this. Let's watch this real quick. Hold on, lock it.
Parental advisory stickers on records. We knew in the 90s what this was becoming. And now we have a whole bunch of executives who go home to communities where death isn't at their front door every other day. The fact that everything is so hypersexualized, do you know how many young Black girls get raped and kidnapped and trafficked? And we're like perpetuating this every single day in everything we do in the media. No other culture will allow it. You don't see it happening with other people. It happens specifically, almost exclusively to Black people because nobody else is going for that shit. If core values, education, honor didn't matter, then other cultures who are succeeding would not be preserving those legacies in their communities. Yeah. We don't have anything that we can identify with. Generally speaking, there are people who do. There are families who are wealthy, but as a general rule, if you really just count, you go to Tubi, you go to any of these platforms, and you count the number of shows that show us in a derogatory, negative light. It far supersedes anything that shows us positive. Numbers don't lie, people do. Bottom line is all you have to do is go flip through what you're watching, and it's step, fetch it, drop it low, spread it wide, bang, bang, shoot them up. That is just the reality. Till Black people as a culture start demanding, and by demanding, I mean economic protest, meaning take your focus, your dollars, your energy, your time, and put it into more positive things.
See that? None else need to be said. That was just plain upon tables. What's understood doesn't have to be explained. It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications, everything that she just said, everything I just read, corrupt good manners. Nothing positive can come out of that.